From the heart of Bulldog Country, this is Sports Central on Bulldog Sports TV, brought to you by Harrison County Community Hospital. We're your weekly home for in-depth coverage, highlights, and insider insight on everything South Harrison Bulldogs. Whether it's game-winning moments or what's coming up next, Sports Central is your front row seat to it all. It's time to break it down, fire it up, and celebrate Bulldog pride like never before. Let's join your host, CF Rainey and Andrew Sweat.
All right, welcome in again to Sports Central here on Bulldog Sports TV, brought to you each week by Harrison County Community Hospital. We appreciate their sponsorship. All of our sponsors, as well as our family sponsors. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But Andrew, last night I got an opportunity to go broadcast my first volleyball game, and what I found out is I don't know a lot about volleyball. As far as some of the things you would call compared to some of the other sports. But the volleyball team looked great last night. They played Hamilton, Penny High School, and the varsity. Actually, the freshman team or C team, they won their game. JV won, and then varsity won in 3 straight games. So you play best 3 out of, or you play, best 3 out of 5. And they won 25-13, 25-14. And then Hamilton kind of made it close in the last one, 25-21. And so the girls looked great. Talked a little bit to coaches Lisa Cannon and Jess Estes afterwards. And they're excited. It's a group. They have a lot of young girls. I think the bulk of the team is freshmen, but they have a couple of seniors in J.C. Schruff and Eris Hansen, and then Ella Estes returning. She was all district, no conference in volleyball, but all district last year, and had a good group and some juniors there as well. Piper Carver plays the libero. Andrew, do you know what the libero is?
I don't know what that is.
All right, so I mentioned it last night, and I had to look some stuff up before I started doing this. The libero will wear a different colored uniform than the rest of the team, and they can kind of freely substitute in, but only on the back row. And Piper Carver plays that for South Harrison. Let's see, there are a number of other players that looked really good last night, and so excited for the volleyball team. And then softball, we talked about last week a little bit, started out last Friday, Saturday in Kansas City. And let me just pull up what they did in Kansas City. So here's the amazing thing. And I'm going to interview Coach Aaron Fitzpatrick, and we'll try to get that on tomorrow. But here's the amazing thing about softball. They went down to Kansas City, won their first game, Lee Summit West, 4-2. So, I mean, I would assume Lee Summit West is biggest classification you could be. Won that one 4-2. Then they did lose to Odessa 12-5. And then the next day ended up beat Fort Osage 13-3, beat Smithville 9-3, and then ended up losing to Grain Valley 2-7. And then the varsity softball team kicked off conference play versus Brookfield last night when we were at volleyball, and they smoked Brookfield 11-1. And so, big wins for the softball team and the volleyball team. But you and I had an opportunity to be at the football game in Midland last week, and here in a minute we'll take a look at some highlights. Maybe just before we look at some of those things, Andrew, just anything off the top of your head coming out of that game last week? I think your mic may have unplugged there or something, Andrew. I've lost your sound. So maybe check your mic. We'll go ahead and we'll look at some of our sponsorship things. Let me put that up as Andrew will work with that. It may have come unplugged or something on the mic. Let's throw this up and we'll look at some graphics. But we want to thank all of our sponsors. And we'll look at those sponsors: O'Neill's Home Furnishings and Floor Coverings, Harrison County Community Hospital, Petty John Auto Center, Bethany Fuel Depot, Green Hills Insurance, El Nepal Authentic Mexican Food, Little Clara's Garden, as well as BTC Bank, Bethany Rotary Club, Bethany Building Center, United Country Real Estate, Nelson Real Estate and Auction Company, and Hidden Acres Cabin. So, Andrew, do you have your mic? Are you there? I still cannot hear you. I have lost you. I don't know if it came unplugged or if it's not in. So here's what we'll do. I'm going to have Andrew go ahead and drop out, and then he'll come back in, and we'll see if we can get that. But as he's doing that, I also want to mention, if you are a business and you would like to advertise, it is not too late to be able to do that. And so we had full season packages that obviously all of those 13 businesses joined in on. But you can also get in. We can prorate any of our advertising for the rest of the season. All of our ads, as we've shown those, they're a video ad as well as audio. And so Bulldog Sports TV, you can email me, cf.rainey@bulldogsportstv.com. And that's the best way to do that. And here's the amazing thing. We really want to get people on as quick as possible. And so in doing so, let me move Andrew back in there. All right. I think we have you. Do we have you here, Andrew?
Yep.
All right.
Testing. You got
there
me.
we go. We've got him back. Here's the thing with technology. Anyone knows, Andrew, if it doesn't work, just turn it off and back on.
That's very true.
We could get rid of IT guys completely. Just turn it off, turn it back on. But Andrew, if you just want to mention maybe some of your thoughts after watching South Harrison Bulldogs in person last week versus Milan.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this season, we kind of knew what to expect. We knew we were going to be one of the top dogs, and definitely showed up on Friday, not missing a beat from last year. This play we're about to watch, it's going to be I assume it's the first touchdown Mason Galloway play. He had a heck of a night.
We'll go ahead and roll that.
Roll it.
You can talk through it if you want here.
Yeah, he just hands it off. It was that counter play, and you can't write that up. He's just running around all the defenders. They didn't even know what to do there. And then that dive in the end zone to finish it off. Got the little hop at the end. First score of the year. You can tell these boys were, they were juiced up, ready to play. And, I was impressed with even how they showed up in the second half. We kind of talked about halftime. You don't want to let your heads down. You don't want to get too comfortable. Milan, they could definitely come back, and they just kept their foot on the gas, put up 55 points against this defense, and
and
overall, just really impressed with what we saw.
So Andrew, one thing we talked about, and I so appreciate Andrew being in the booth with me on Friday nights watching football. Right, he played for South Harrison, a 4-year starter at South Harrison on both sides of the ball. And as we were watching, and this is still early after South Harrison had scored that touchdown by Galloway, and Milan started to kind of walk guys up, but look how deep they're playing. Knowing South Harrison's going to run the ball, and they still had those safeties like 7, 8, 10 yards off the ball. And here, this is a play that South Harrison, they'd been running they've been running Mason Galloway and Cray Coffey in between the tackles, and this is one they catch him off by giving it back to Kel Taggart here.
Yeah.
And you got the quarterback out there leading the block. He blocked like a quarterback. He didn't level him, but he got in the guy's way, and Taggart takes it all the way down. And then that sets up this next one, which is Cray Coffey for 1 yard, and he just stands, crosses the goal line there. And so it was
first touchdown there. Yep.
Yeah, so it was just South Harrison on the run. We knew we'd see Cray Coffey. Mason Galloway, I think, really, as we continue to just roll here he is on a big third down run. But I think he was really a surprise. I mean, we knew that Mason could run because he started and played last year, but the way he ran really surprised me.
Yeah, much more aggressive than you saw last year. Last year you kind of see him like a lot of the backs in, Class 1. It's, didn't seem like it was super special or anything. Kind of don't want to say he was running soft, but I mean, it's just a different animal this year. When you're running that aggressive, plus he was patient as well. He was waiting for his blocks to be there. If you're a younger running back, you kind of just want to get going, and sometimes you can't, get behind your blocks. You end up getting tackled early, but He was either waiting for his blocks to get there or just running right around him. That Milan defense could not stop him or Craig Coffey. Craig Coffey was still the centerpiece of this offense. Obviously, they were keyed up on him all game. But we have a little 1-2 punch in this offense now.
And so you had all that running, and again, I think it's with Mason. He's always had the physical skills, and he's been a good runner. He's more decisive. He's more patient this year, and that makes a huge difference. And so they've been running the ball successfully. Milan did answer back. They got a pass to their tight end. He broke a couple of tackles and scored. They were finding a little bit of success in the air, and they cut it in half. But Milan, to this point, had not stopped South Harrison. We talked about everyone playing deep. If you look here, if everyone's watching, let's just count the green uniforms up near the line of scrimmage. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys within 6 yards of the ball. And this is where Coach Chris Schoening saw that, and he dials up a pass play.
Yeah, nobody was expecting that.
No, and
perfect ball.
Yeah, Cornette to Taggart, it was wide open. And so then Milan comes back. Again, they were finding some success in the air, and here's their second and final touchdown. Pretty good coverage by Galloway, but just a really nice ball by their quarterback. And they did, right? They had some success against a South Harrison defensive backfield that's a little younger, some newer players because of injury. Some guys shifted around.
Milan Quinley wasn't back there. He's out with injury.
Yeah, and
so what? Some guys step up against a team who obviously really love to throw the football. I mean, we didn't see them run that much at all. But I was really impressed with the defense. Like I said.
No, I don't know what happened, but we lost Andrew again. Something buzzed, and we lost you again, Andrew. So if you want to drop out, and maybe when you come back, just leave the mic unplugged and see if we can pick it up from your audio there on your screen. And so as Andrew does that, I'll go ahead and run through a couple of plays here. And so after the Milan touchdown, we see South Harrison starting to feed Craig Coffey, and he does what he's done at least the last couple of years, and he gets those hard yards in between the tackles, and he's able to move the ball. And Craig Coffey again comes back. Right, that was, I believe, a 24-yarder, and then we see him here again right up the middle. Great blocking by that line. And I think this one is 28 yards, and he takes it right down to the goal line. The one of the officials signals touchdown. The other official a little closer calls him down just short, but he was able to stick it in on the next play. And so South Harrison taking advantage of what they could do on the ground. I think they only threw a couple of passes in the game, but they were able to find success. As we'll bring Andrew back in here. All right, do we have you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. All right, so we looked at a couple of long runs by Craig Coffey. And the one thing that we didn't mention in talking about all of these plays is you know this from experience, especially starting as a freshman, you can't run like that if you don't have an offensive line doing their job.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw that all last year. That's the only reason we're able to have success. When you have such a talented running back like Craig Coffey and you don't have a line, I mean, he's not going to be a good running back. It takes that line up front to really, push that D line, get to the linebackers, make do what they're supposed to do. The, offensive linemen, I'm sure they know they don't always get a lot of the credits. But when you have a good, solid O-line, you just win football games. It's pretty obvious. So, really impressed with them as well. We got some big guys as well. I mean, Ruger Johnson, he's one of the bigger guys we've seen at South Harrison recently. He played really well. And then, those guys like Joel McCall are obviously studs as well. So
yeah, you got those two as well as Nick Mars, Ethan Smith. Yeah. Ethan Smith. Yep. So four seniors, Tegan Alexander, who's come in as a junior, starting at center. So you've got some size four guys with some experience. And speaking of Ethan Smith, made a few nice plays defensively, but here's one of them as he gets a tackle for a loss here against Milan.
Yeah, number 52 is big Friday night.
Yeah, he's
Obviously,
able.
that one called a penalty there, but picked it back up. Was that play?
Yeah, that was the one. A little controversial. You could see as you watch the highlight, the Milan coach coming out. And then South Harrison did not put the ball in the air very often, but when they did, they found success. And here, Cornette almost stumbles and then gets it out.
Yep. Yeah, and then right after that, the 2-point conversion, they converted.
Yeah, and so that was
it was Galloway again, wasn't it?
Yeah, Galloway on both of those.
Yeah.
And so South Harrison just continued to push it in. They get another run here. This is that touchdown by Galloway, and he gets stopped, you think. Right? We thought he was stopped, and then he popped out and dove in. And I think, Andrew, those are some of the things we didn't see out of Mason Galloway a year ago.
Yeah.
That kind of just keeping the legs moving, the vision to find the opening if it's not there originally.
Yeah, and that's just something that comes with experience. You know, when you're a younger back, you don't tend to do that as much. When you get hit, you just kind of go down. But, you know, as you gain maturity, you know, he's older now, stronger now, obviously. Those things just do come easier. So, yeah, he did a great job at not giving up on the runs.
And then so South Harrison kind of got Milan again creeping up, and they take advantage in the air here with Cornette out to Taggart.
Yeah, Cale Taggart. I mean, you heard Coach Schoening talk about him on your interview. He's just that speedy weapon. You know, going to cause havoc for a lot of defenses. You know, he can catch the ball. Obviously, do good on those reverses, those jet sweeps. You know, just one of those players that coaches watching film on. You know, it's just like going to give them a headache. You know, they just have to find a way to stop this guy, which is basically impossible.
And so real quick, looking ahead, Andrew and I will be at Memorial Field Friday night live here on Bulldog Sports TV. South Harrison hosting the Midgets from Putnam County. And so one game in, they're undefeated, we're undefeated. I assume we think it'll be a tough game. They look pretty good at the Jamboree. Do you have any thoughts? It's hard to know what we're looking at this early in the season, but just any thoughts going into that game?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. We're starting off the season 2 GRC games in a row. You know, you look at Putnam County, who they played last week. They played Marceline. They actually beat them 41-17, or 41-7, something like that.
Yeah,
I might be remembering last year's game for us, but they beat them pretty good. And Marceline, obviously, we went toe-to-toe last year. So, you know, this isn't going to be any walk in the park, I wouldn't say. Putnam County, they're probably going to be a little bit better than they have the past couple of years. You know, they've been in that rebuilding stage. Obviously, we had our way with them last year, but, you know, this is a home opener, South Harrison, a lot of people going to be there. Can't overlook any GRC opponents. Obviously, I expect us to go out there, not miss a beat from last week, but it'll be a new competition, new challenge. Excited to see what the Bulldogs have this week.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting, and I know talking to some Bulldog fans, they know Putnam coming in. They're a team that lost a few more seniors than we did last year, Andrew, but they still have a big senior class. They had quite a few juniors, and some of their skill position. Their quarterback looked really good. They run a very similar offense to us, and so I think the one thing, Andrew, that South Harrison did, I mean, they did a number of things well, but one thing that stuck out to me last week, they stayed away for the most part from penalties. There were just a couple there, one questionable pass interference call, and then I think there was a procedural call on another play. And they stayed away from turnovers. And early in the season, penalties and turnovers can cost you. So I think that's something, if they can get Putnam to turn it over, that's going to help them on Friday night.
Yeah, more often than not, the team that doesn't turn the ball over ends up winning. So that's going to be big. And, yeah, early season games, you really do see a lot more penalties, a lot more mistakes. South Harrison last week looked pretty clean, so I'm hoping to see the same this week.
Yeah, they stayed away from it for the most part. So Friday night will be live on Facebook and YouTube. with South Harrison versus Putnam County. Tomorrow night will be our first softball game that we'll broadcast here on Bulldog Sports TV. So I will be down at the softball field as South Harrison takes on Trenton, another GRC foe. Trenton, I believe, comes in 0-1. They didn't have the tournament like South Harrison did last week, but a conference foe, and so those are always tough games. Want to finish up here mentioning all of our family sponsors: Brian and Mary Quinley, Randall and Barbara Axon, Daryl Quinley, Lois Kavanaugh, Grace Lawrence, Daniel Payne, Matt and Carrie Johnson, Thomas and Carlin Hudelmeyer, Jason Vanessa Taggart, Pat and Candy Haffey, Jeff and Tiffany Botcher, Larry and Brenda Holmes, Eric and Kathy Sweat, Andrew's parents, Dave and Pat Barnett, Aaron and Danielle Fitzpatrick, Jack and Kelsey McCall, Andrew and Shyla Calloway, Cephas and Ingrid Panamogan, Brandon and Ollie Poles, Chris and Courtney Schoening, Brian and Krista Corbett, Patrick and Melissa Miller, Michael and Jess Estes, Dr. Estes, the superintendent of South Harrison, Paul Barone, as well as we added a couple last night, Dick and Roberta Smith at the volleyball game, and Keith and Rhonda Deskins. And so if you would like to be a family sponsor, it's only $20. If you Venmo, you can do it that way, or you can do it like some of the folks last night, just come up and hand me $20. I always enjoy people hand me $20, Andrew, and so if you'd like to be a sponsor, help us be able to broadcast South Harrison Athletics, you can do it that way. And so, Andrew, look forward to Friday night with you. Again, I will be down at the softball field tomorrow night. Make sure to catch any of our other things. I interviewed Coach Schoening earlier in the week. I'm interviewing Coach Fitzpatrick with softball this evening, and we'll get that on tomorrow morning sometime, and then tomorrow evening softball. And so we look forward to being with you tomorrow night from the softball field, and then Friday evening from Memorial Stadium. So for Andrew Sweat, this is CF Rainey. Thanks again to Harrison County Community Hospital, sponsor of Sports Central, and all of our sponsors and family sponsors. We look forward to being with you again soon.